African leaders are well known as the most mafias and dictators who work for their own benefits. Leaders who believe in stealing the little money which they're supposed to be providing for their nations in order for them to go ahead and build different mansions. Or yes, they are good at building different palaces because they want to show it off. They want to show it off because they want to compete against one another. They want to see who have built a better palace than the one of a Kandla, or who have built the most biggest palace than the one of the former president of Tunisia. Even though the history is showing us otherwise, they seem not to learn from the former presidents who have also stolen from their people. For an example, Mobutu Sese Seko, the former president of Zaire, a man who had built the most biggest palace in the forest of Equatorial. Yet today, this palace, it has been covered by the bushes, and all the billions of money which was invested over there, it has nowhere to be found anymore.
I have the legitimacy of popular support behind me, which means that I've been elected for 7 years. My mandate will end at midnight on the 4th of December, 1991.
You'll still be there in the year 2000.
Well, why not? In 2 months, I'll be 60. The year 2000 is 10 years away. Why not?
It was known as the Versailles of the jungle. On a hill overlooking untouched forest stands the ruins of Kawele. A magnificent...
It was so shiny, but also slippery.
Today, what remains of the palace's rooms gives us a glimpse of Mobutu's legendary opulence. In this suite, the dictator's remote-controlled bed was once positioned on a cross carved into the rock.
He worked hard. He would get up early and go to bed late at night. At 5:30, he was already up and making phone calls to know the general mood in the country.
I'm very upset because I know how his residence used to be. Seeing it like this today, it breaks my heart. It was a sumptuous palace, worthy of a great head of state and the great Zaire of the time.
Mahogany doors, marble walls, or crystal chandeliers, Mobutu spared no expense lavishing millions on the complex. It was here that he welcomed heads of states from all over the world.
Belgian King Baudouin and French Presidents Chirac and Mitterrand were here. There used to be a pool here and a fountain. When there was a party, people would gather around to eat. At night, it was a beautiful sight.
Why all this? Because the money which was invested in order for this palace to be built, it was not a clean money, and people have to come and destroy everything. I can go on with this kind of example for many different African leaders who have looted from their own people.
Welcome to the Gambia, land of sun, sea, sand, and a president who claims he can cure AIDS.
I get rid of the virus from the body of the human being, and that's what I do.
And he's granted us special access to his healing sessions.
Unusual. This is Africa. Welcome to Africa.
Meet the President of the Gambia, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Secretary of State for Defense, Chief Custodian of the Sacred Constitution of the Gambia, and now he says, miracle worker. Yahya Jammeh has, he says, received a mandate to cure AIDS as long as it's on a Thursday, and he says he can cure asthma as long as it's on a Saturday.
What about the former president of Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, who had fled the country and left many luxury cars behind, which was found in the bush. Later on, the government have to put it on sale, all because this money which was used to buy these cars, it was the stolen money of the people of Gambia.
His son has it all. Luxury cars, houses abroad, and even a glove worth $275,000 US. Worn by pop idol Michael Jackson.
What about him? The Vice Prime Minister of Equatorial Guinea. This man is well known as the Instagram player boy. Why he have to be named by this name? Of course, it's because of his luxury life that he's been busy showing on the social media. He hosted strippers in the house. He invited different guests, celebrities from all over around the world to come and groove with him.
Now, Swiss prosecutors have seized 11 luxury cars belonging to the vice president of Equatorial Guinea. Traore Ngema Obiang, who's also the president's son, is being investigated for money laundering accusations. Now, the confiscated cars include a Porsche, Bugatti, Veyron, Aston Martin, and customized Ferraris.
He does all these things not with the money that comes from his salary as a vice prime minister of Equatorial Guinea, but he does this with the money which he has been stealing from the Equatorial Guinea when people of Guinea, they are busy suffering and dying with poverty.
Traore Ngema Obiang is the second most powerful man in the country. His father is the world's longest-serving president, Traore Obiang Ngema. The Obiang family has amassed a fortune running into the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes. This same man is being investigated by different governments around the world and is being inside the court because of the money laundering and serious fraudulent allegations against him. The United States of America, who have to seize one of his property. He bought a Highland which is in the value of 308 million US. In France, he bought a full area which has the biggest hotel in the street of Paris in the worth of 560 million US. What about Switzerland, where they have to seize different luxury cars? Was that all or was that enough? No. Why? Because last year in the United Nations General Assembly, this man have to go and represent his father in order for him to deliver the state's address to the entire world in behalf of the Equatorial Guinea. And this man, during his days there, when other head of the state, they were trying to discuss matters which concern their countries, well, the man was busy living his luxury life.
And with his ultra-luxurious lifestyle, Obiang has now landed himself in another controversy. This after he stayed in a $75,000 a night penthouse when he flew to New York to call for more aid for Africa. Obiang, who goes by the name Teddy, traveled in a private jet to the States, stayed in one of the world's most opulent Mark Hotel. The hotel's 2-floor penthouse has 5 bedrooms, 4 fireplaces, 6 bathrooms, a living room that can be converted into a ballroom, and a rooftop terrace overlooking Central Park. Visuals and pictures shared by Vice President on his social media account showed him strolling around the suite and admiring the views in a light blue suit wearing a large watch.
Now, tell me something. When you look at this Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, what difference is between him and this Nigerian scammer Ash Pop?
Hush Puppy is the #1 Yahoo boy in Nigeria. He's a role model to every Yahoo boy in Nigeria.
There are ways to look at Hush Puppy not as some kind of hero, but you can respect some of the things that he did and the way that he thrived in our current. One of the things people would ask me was, why did he post to Instagram? Like, he should have just kept a low profile. My answer ultimately was, why do you post on social media? I mean, he was doing it for the same reasons we all do it, to get some response from people, to feel his place in the world grow and be respected.
G for Gucci, you know?
When you look at the story from one layer, it's very simplistic, but the deeper you get into it, the more you see the complexities around how someone like Hush Puppy exists in the modern world.
I believe you have the answer already. But is he the only one who's in this kind of situation? No. What about the former president of Tunisia, President Ben Ali, who had fled, and once his palace was being attacked, they had to find a lot of millions of US money in his home secret bank.
This is where former President Zain al-Abidin Ben Ali used to live. Ben Ali and his wife had a passion for overstated luxury. This hall is packed with antiques, works of art, porcelain vases, and gifts from monarchs and wealthy businessmen. Now, the palace and the priceless items inside are for sale.
Tunisia's ousted president stashed cash, gold, diamonds and other precious items in secret spots in his palace in Tunis. State television says President Zain al-Abidin Ben Ali was toppled last month after 23 years of authoritarian rule. Film footage of just one of his safes showed the extent of the former leader's wealth, with large wads of €500 notes, as well as other treasures including priceless jewellery. The Tunisian broadcast said the riches would be redistributed to the people. The EU, France, Switzerland and Canada say they've all frozen the assets of Ben Ali and his family entourage. Those are thought to total tens to hundreds of millions of euros.
How can a president being found with such kind of cash in his own house? The person who's supposed to be teaching or showing the good example for everyone in order for them to save the money inside the banks, yet they're behaving like some who prefer to keep cash under their mattress. And it was not only the money which was found in his palace, but there were also a lot of luxury cars, luxury borders, a lot of things which later on they end up putting it for auction. All these luxury cars, all these jewelries, all these expensive materials which they had collected from his palace, well, the government of Tunisia finally decided to put it out there for auctions so that they can collect this money. Why? Because this money, it was a stolen money and not a money which he earned from his own salary. But he had to take it by force because what can the people of Tunisia have to say? He's the one who's the commander-in-chief. He have just to do like this and everything will just happen like a stick of magic. So these presidents, they are busy stealing from their people while their people, they are suffering. While their people, they have a lot of number of unemployment, yet them they are able to steal alongside with their siblings or their side chicks or their wives, or should I say their family. For an example, President Ben Ali's nephew, who was also one of the big thieves in this government.
This is the looted villa of Moaz Ben Ali, the nephew of the former Tunisian president. The writing on the wall, this is the people's home.
This is an extremely wealthy part of Tunis. Many of the Ben Ali family and also the Trabelsi family, that's Leila Trabelsi, who was married to the president, lived in this area. This is the ground floor, what used to be the ground floor. As you can see, it's just absolutely gutted, glass all over the place.
We found this torn picture of Moaz Ben Ali. It's not clear when he fled. It's unlikely he'll ever be allowed back.
It's the money from our customs duties. It's the money from the poor, the money from Tunisian business. It's all money from the Tunisian people.
We're shown contracts which allegedly reveal members of the household sold fake visas for $30,000 each. There's frustration at the sheer wealth of this powerful family accumulated during their years in charge, and anger at reports the former leader and his wife left the country with stacks of gold. These women want Ben Ali brought to justice. They say their land was confiscated by the government and sold to the ruling family.
As you can see, there's a lot of interest here in the local area, people just wanting to look around. This was the upstairs part, the bedrooms. There's not much left, just scraps of paper, bits of glass, and even the wallpaper has been stripped off as well.
It is an extraordinary reversal of fortunes for a family that dominated for so long.
So he was stealing alongside his uncle. And when things goes down for them, once they flee out of the country, this is what all these mansion and palace have to turn into. Let me tell you about another person that just came in my mind. And here I'm talking about Joseph Kabila. Look at this man. He came in power wearing boots as a soldier in support of his so-called father, Roland Desire Kabila. Story short, we then saw later on the father was assassinated by his own bodyguard for the reasons which we're still ignoring until now. After he have succeeded his father.
Moi, Joseph Kabila, président de la République démocratique du Congo, je jure fidélité à la nation.
The man have changed his life from poverty to something which we can't even describe, to enrich his own family and his own environment. Being stolen from the Congolese Reserve Bank, this man, he will die rich for the rest of his life, because what he have stolen from the Congolese people is way too much that you can't even believe.
Joseph Kabila, former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a giant of African politics for nearly 2 decades, and reportedly a billionaire. The DRC is rated as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. It is rich in natural resources, but the majority live on less than $2 a day. Hospitals and schools are chronically underfunded, and the infrastructure is poor.
This is a huge alarm for the DRC, for the public, for a Congolese like myself, for anybody. This is alarm bell, and something must be done. There must be an investigation to get the needs, the surface, because everything we have seen could be just the top of the iceberg.
Guys, what I'm trying to say here is that there is not that much African leaders who are having a clean name when it comes of them stealing from their own people. If they are there, maybe there is 5% out of 100% that remain more honest. African leaders are well known for stealing from their own people, and once they steal all these things, they are going to invest it to their own masters, which is the Western. And this same Western, once they are tired of them, they end up seizing all this property, as we just show you from different footage and the report which we just play for you. Now, this takes us to the question 1 which we asked earlier on. Why is Ibrahim Traoré winning so far? And what lesson can greedy African leaders have to copy or learn from this young man? That is a very capital question, because if you look very well right now, you'll see that Ibrahim Traoré is winning. Is winning and winning again from all the activities that is taking place right now. Ibrahim Traoré seems to be winning the trust of Africans who are seeing something more worth it. They are seeing a man of dignity. They are seeing a man who's trustworthy. And for people of Africa, but let us just focus on the basic. And please note in mind that we're not saying that Burkina Faso it is now a paradise. We're not saying that people are not suffering in Burkina Faso. We're not saying that people are living a better life in Burkina Faso. No, but the kind of seed which Ibrahim Traoré have planted so far, it is a seed which it is promising for a bright future for the entire Burkina Faso people, and why not for the Africa continent. Ibrahim Traoré, since he came in power, he had also the opportunity to behave such as a the former president of Republic of Congo, who was also a soldier and ended up changing his lifestyle after becoming power by, for example, maybe finding himself a better life, living a luxury life by driving expensive car and do all these expensive things that we see African leader keep on doing around. But Ibrahim Traoré, he refuses to do so. He remains in his own simple life, which he's been living for all these years. This man, he did not choose either to buy any expensive land in order for him to build a palace. Ibrahim Traoré, his children still going to the same school which they were going all this time before their father took over the power. Don't you think that is very strange? Because they will have also choose to go to all this expensive school, but he preferred them to remain in the same position as the one they used to be all this time. As the head of the state, all the head of the state in Africa, they have their basic salary. And this salary, most of these African leaders, they don't even want their people to know how much it is their salary. Do you know why? Because this is a way which is going to make things easy for them to continue stealing from their own people. Because once the people of their country have to get to know how much is the salary of their president, of course everyone now will start calculating if they have to see a president spending this much of money by buying maybe one of the luxury cars. Everyone will come and ask, Mr. President, where did you get this money from? Because we know your salary is about 80 million and this car is about 150 million. Where did you get the rest of the money? So they don't want anyone to know about their salary. But is that the case with Ibrahim Traoré? No. Why? Because Ibrahim Traoré, he came more openly about his salary. And then he said that they are going to cut off in his own salary, they are going to cut a certain amount of money and give it to the government. Have you seen such a things from your own president? Depending on which country you're watching us from. Tell us what you think about it in the comment section. Do you think your president can do such a things? I can only imagine all your answers coming like no, 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 no. Of course, because these people, they don't want to behave like Ibrahim Traoré. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, instead of him trying to change his life, stealing money from his people and do something else. But this man is actually taking every effort that he have and every money that's supposed to be stealing, using it by helping people who are in need in order for him to develop the economy of his country. Guys, remember, China did not get where they are today without agricultures. Because in China, it is all about agricultures. If you can't cultivate, you are not being considered as a true citizen. And today, China, they are one of the most powerful nations in the world when it comes to the economy, because food in China is nothing. They have enough food in China to the point that they start exporting it outside of China. And that strategy, it is what Captain Ibrahim Traoré had to apply by going to buy all these farming machines. And he came with them instead of him maybe using it for the state so that they can have different farms around the countries. But he went with it and said that I'm going to give it to everyone who have the farm. And the government will make sure that they will provide everything that these people need. What is the petrol? What is the service for the engine or anything as you wish to call it? And these farm engines, they are just there to help all these people in order for them to cultivate even more different foods. And it's doing all this without them being charged. Imagine that kind of ideology. Do you think these all African leaders that I just show here, they can be able to have that kind of initiation in their mind? No. Instead, they will think on how they have to go to the United States of America and live that luxury life. Imagine this man, he went there, he spent $75,000 in a night. Do you know how much money is that? That's a very big property in Africa. You can build even about 100 and something schools in Africa continent. Go in his country and check how many schools are there. Yet these men have to go all over America or Europe and spend this kind of money. And that's what make Ibrahim Traoré become even more unique. Because when all these things are happening, Africans are not blind. Africans can see. Africans have the ear to hear. And these Africans, they can tell us that this is the kind of leaders we need, and not this other one who's being known out there as the Instagram player. Not an excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, but a social media influence who have to come and show people around about his luxury life. Ibrahim Traoré have done so much to the point that he even cut all the ties with the Western from the moment when they refuses to support him by to fight these terrorists who've been causing a lot of drama in Burkina Faso and in the Sahel region. Burkina Faso who have to come and suffer in the hands of the Western because they do not want them to buy even the guns. They sanctioned the government of Burkina Faso. But Ibrahim Traoré is like, no, instead of me taking this opportunity and stealing all the money which is supposed to be used to pay the different fighting weapons, well, I'm going to take this money and use it for something else. But as for the US, as for France and all the Westerns, this is your punishment. You have to stop them from not taking his minerals. Do you see your president as African president doing such a things? Again, the answer will be no. Why? Because if they were having this kind of willing as the one for Ibrahim Traoré, I think they would have done this kind of things long time ago, and I don't think the Western they were gonna be able to continue having a last word to say when it comes to African leaders with their politics. But since our leaders are being controlled by the Westerns, and most of them they are puppets to the Western service, that's why you see them, they are stuck, and that make Ibrahim Traoré become even more different from them. But guys, what lesson can these African leaders have to take from Ibrahim Traoré? Because so far, every Africans out there, they are supporting Ibrahim Traoré, they love him, they are showing all the support to the man. Well, in order for African leaders to take a good lesson from Ibrahim Traoré, they first need to show that goodwill. Yes, the will that's showing that no, from now on, I'm no longer going to steal from my people. From now on, I'm not going to just spend the money on the useless things which I know tomorrow, once I'm gone, no one will remember me for that. From now on, I'm not going to take money or allow any ministers in my government who will have just to come and steal the money and go somewhere in the Western and buy some properties there or buying expensive cars. Those kind of will is the first step which these African leaders need to learn from Ibrahim Traoré. Secondly, they must also now distance themselves from the Western, because the moment when each and every African leader will try to isolate themselves from the Western mafia, well, it's going to be a bit challenging at the beginning, just as much we saw they did with the government of Niger or the one of Mali and the one of Burkina Faso, because there will always come those kind of threats which these people will come and tell that, okay, if you want to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, like the way they are doing it again right now with Zelensky, the men whom they have used for all these years to fight Russia. But today, now that they see that they have lost, they are not winning against Russia, they are kind of like disrespecting him and do all those kind of things. So this kind of strategy, they'll apply it on you as an African leader when you want to distance yourself from these people. But what can you do? Well, if they do this to you, they try to threaten you, they say that they're going to sanction you, they can do this and that, you also look in your country. There must be one thing which these people, they really want to have from your country, and take that thing, use it against them. Ibrahim Traoré did it. You collect all the minings which was belonging to the British, Americans or France, and he said from now on you guys are not allowed to produce any of our minerals here. We're taking away your license, go back where you come from. Since you don't want to cooperate, go until when you make up your mind you come. Right now, that's why they go stuck. That's why they are trying to eliminate him, whether it's physically or politically, but they keep on failing. And don't be surprised whenever you see Ibrahim Traoré walking with his little revolver or in the military uniform, and don't be surprised or ask a lot of questions whenever you get to see Ibrahim Traoré greeting people with his hands folded in this way. Well, because the man, he have received a lot of temptations against his own life, but he keep on surviving because he's a soldier, and as a soldier you need to fight until your last breath, and that's what this man is doing. So African leaders, if they want their people, if they want African all over, whether it is in the continent or in the diaspora, to applaud for you as an African leader, then you need to follow the same strategy. We are seeing the president of Ghana is trying, of course, to follow the same road by trying first to start approaching all these military governments of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and talking with them, because the many have just understand that no, actually, if it is working for them, perhaps it can also work for Ghana. So we shall wait and see for how long it's going to fall the same way, because whether it is Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, these people, they are no longer in African Union, because remember, they were all sanctioned over there. So they have created their own organizations which seem to be approved by millions and millions of Africans all over around the world, because we can see the goodwill that this government of militaries is manifesting compared to these civilian politicians in the suit and beautiful ties, but their actions are so rotten, their actions are so ugly to the point that you don't even feel proud to be part of Africa, because they kind of like destroying the dignity of Africans. They kind of like neglecting the life of Africans, preferring the Africans' life to be more miserable. You yet them, they are living that luxury life with their families. That has to stop. And Ibrahim Traoré have shown that goodwill. He have shown the road away. So whoever who want people of Africa to like or support him, the choice is very simple. They will just have to do that by doing what is right. And once people of Africa or people of their country start noticing it, of course, we'll be also talking about them in a good way. Guys, this was very important conversation that we had with you. I believe you know a couple of African leaders who've been living this kind of life from one moment to another. Some of them, their property are being seized all over around the world. Please tell us also your own story that you are more familiar with, which we did not mention about here. Just drop us the comment in the comment section. Share also your thought with us on what lesson can African leaders have to learn from Ibrahim Traoré. I believe that will be all. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your presence. Continue to watch our next videos. I'm looking forward again to see you all. If this is your first time to be on our channel, just keep in mind that this is a Pan-African platform where we get to discuss about matters that concern Africa and African all over around the world. So we are inviting you to join this big family of Cool Bars TV. But above all, don't leave without you liking this video. Give us your thumbs up. We really do appreciate that. I believe that will be all for now. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind. Have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.